So I just got finished watching the new Doctor Who special, and because I did reviews of the past few Doctor Who things, I thought I'd show up and talk about this one as well. Now, obviously, I was not a big fan of the 13th Doctor era. It was pretty bad. The stories were not good, and a lot of it just didn't even make sense. I feel like there wasn't as much development. I feel like as I would have liked. So I was, excited for the return of David Tennant, the tenth Doctor. I guess is he the 14th Doctor, or are we gonna call him like 10-2? Like Final Fantasy. It's my cat. Like the Final Fantasy numbering, 10-2, X2. But it was a decent episode. I'm not gonna say it was amazing or anything. It was fine. It was fun. The only complaint I have about it, really, though, is that some of the writing is really bad. Like, some of the dialogue is really bad. There's some moments in this where I'm like, how do you write that and not just, like, how does the whole room not just cringe at what you just wrote? You know what I mean? Obviously, David Tennant was around, I believe it was the mid to late 2000s was when he was the 10th Doctor, which, when I was watching this episode, I noticed that Donna Noble, she has a kid in this, and the kid is like a teenager, I think like 17 to 19 probably, and I was like, there's no way that doesn't make any sense. She wouldn't have a kid that old at this point, right? And then I did the math. I'm like, if she had a kid like that year, yeah, it would be it would be a teenager. That kind of made me feel really old. Yeah, they obviously brought not Donna Noble back for this, and they had to resolve the plot line of the fact that she can't remember the Doctor, or like her head will explode, she'll die, because she absorbed, I believe, the Meta Crisis. It's been a long time, so forgive me if I don't remember if I don't remember the exact terms. I believe she absorbed like the Meta Crisis, and then she kind of became like half Doctor, half Donna. They called her Dr. Donna. So they resolved that plotline in this, and she remembers the Doctor. She ends up not dying. Spoilers. She ends up not dying because she had a kid. Which I'm like, okay, that's stupid, but it's stupid in like a Doctor Who way. Some part of her was passed on to this kid that made it so that, her remembering everything is not so taxing on her body. But it's just really dumb how they do this thing where Donna, one of the things she did when her brain was exploding or whatever back in the day, back in the old episodes, was she said binary over and over again. And so part of the thing here is that the kid absorbs like the Doctor part of her, I guess, in that, like, and then they point out that the Doctor part is like non-binary because the Doctor is both male and female, I guess, which is technically true, but I calling the Doctor like trans is kind of bizarre. I don't know. Like, clearly it's like it's different iterations of the Doctor do identify in as a male or a female. It's technically true. So you can be both, but it's not like what I would think of as like an identifying trait of the Doctor, that the Doctor is like non-binary. But that's the whole thing, is they're like, this is why the child is non-binary. They're like, she's non-binary because she's neither man nor woman. She's absorbed the Doctor part. And it's just like, it's so dumb. It's really stupid. I don't know who was writing that shit, but like, ugh. Like, it's just, that's some cringy writing, man. Like, please. Come on. You know that was just like a room full of old people that were just like, we gotta do some hip, cool, new, like, progressive stuff in this episode that people the kids will really relate to. It's just like, they didn't know. They did not understand how dumb what they were writing was. There's some moments in this that I liked. There was when they're in the obviously when they're in the rocket, like trying to prevent the thing from blowing up. The whole plot of the episode is there's like an alien that shows out. There's this twist that the alien that you originally think is like good is actually evil. And is trying to like blow up the Earth, or not. It's not trying to blow up the Earth. It's trying to fix its ship, and then it's trying to take off. But for whatever reason, and this is this very contrived, stupid thing, is that the ship, in order for it to take off, it has to like blow up like I think it was like 5,000 square feet of London. Apparently it uses that as fuel to take off or to leave, which is really dumb, but whatever, I guess. So they need to stop this rocket. I guess they needed a reason for the Doctor to be like, oh, you can't just leave. We have to stop you. You're evil. You're going to kill everybody. So that was the whole thing. So they're trying to stop the rocket. And there were some like emotional scenes, I think, from like between like David Tennant and Donna Noble, which was nice, but like a lot of that I feel like has the emotion that it has because of the past iterations of these characters, because we already know these characters, their history already exists. So I don't know if I want to give the episode necessarily credit for like making me feel the way that I did in those moments. Yeah, I don't know. My main complaint is just that the dialogue, a lot of it was really forced and a lot of it was really really stupid. There is a moment where they do the classic David Tennant yelling emotionally and tearing up. Like there's a moment he knows he's gotta like bring Donna's memory back, and he's like, it's not, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, it's not fair, and he yells like in his classic David Tennant way that he does. I'm like, I was like, okay, they had him do that because that's the image of the 10th Doctor that we have in our heads, is just this emotional guy just yelling about how stuff's not fair. Yeah, so they did that. I don't know that it felt supernatural. It kind of just felt like he just yells out of nowhere, but I understand why they had him yell. I was gonna complain about like the really cutesy way that the alien acts at the beginning. I thought it was really annoyingly cutesy. In one hand, it tries to it has a cut on its hand, and it's like, oh, I cut my paw. And I'm like, you don't have paws. Like, you only said the word paw because it sounded cuter, And I was, like, really annoyed by this creature trying to make itself sound really cute by just its word choice. This is the word tummy instead of, like it's trying to befriend the stuffed animals, and then it's like, oh, you tore its tummy out. And then what does it say? It does there was one other thing. Oh, it called itself Little. It's like, why won't the stuffed animals talk to Little Meep? And I'm like, what kind of weirdo calls themselves Little? Refers to themselves like, oh, it's Little Me. It's like you're really trying. It's like you're forcing it. You're trying to sound cute. And then, like I said, I was gonna complain about that, but it ended up being in service of the plot. It's actually pretending. It's trying to appear cute, and it's because it's actually evil. So I forgave all of that. Okay. Although there was another moment where he, like, the Doctor calls the alien, like, he. And then Rose, which is the daughter's name, she's like, it's also very, like, they used her name as Rose just for, like, a quick gag where Donna is like, Rose. She yells Rose off to the side. And the Doctor's like, what? Like reacting as if he's going to see both Donna and Rose Tyler. But obviously it's no, she just named her daughter Rose just for no real reason. It just happened. I don't know. It's just a weird coincidence, I guess. But like, I don't as a one-off gag, you're going to name that character Rose. Kind of like it dumb. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. But anyways, she says, oh, like, you should ask the alien what its pronoun is. And he's like, oh, that's true. I don't know. Are you a man or a woman or a they? Are you a he, a her, a they? And the alien's like, my chosen pronoun is the. It says the definitive article. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. But just to hear an alien, like, understand what, like, is being talked about when you ask the alien, what's your preferred pronoun? And the alien's like, oh, well, my preferred pronoun. It's just like, that's kind of silly. Anyways, I don't know. I hope they write the dialogue better. I do think there is a concern of mine that maybe they're trying to write. I mean, there's one episode so far, so it's not like I can really, like, say much else other than, like, it was okay at this point. We'll find out later after all the specials are done. I'll give you my idea of, like, how the whole thing was. But it felt like they were trying to channel old David Tennant and, like, bring back the little so random stuff from, like, the classic David Tennant era. But that was, like, it was like the mid 2000s, so it's a different time now. It doesn't play as well, the quirky random goofball dorky weirdness. I don't think it plays as well in the modern era, so it didn't do too much of it. There were some weird jokes. Like, there was a weird joke where, like, the unit lady calls him, she's like, there's a word for people like you, it's jammy. And he's like, jam me up, baby. It's not what he said, I don't think, but it was something like that. It just, like, made no sense. I'm like, what? What was this joke? It was a little weird, and I do hope they rein in the writing, the dialogue quite a lot. I don't know who writes stuff. I don't know. Like I said, it's just like that. Some of the dialogue was just, like, so cringy, and I don't know how you write that and you don't, like, have everybody just saying, "Oh, that's really bad. Let's not put that in." Like, how does that get through and into the episode? We'll see how the rest of it is. Obviously, David Tennant, he's got a lot of natural charisma. Oh, there was a joke at the end that I was like it's a little annoying when they kind of shame him for being a guy now. They're like, "Oh, if you were still a woman, you would understand that." Oh, that's the thing, is, like, they do the, like, the whole Donna, no, like, she still has this meta-crisis energy, I guess, between them. They both have it. And he's like, "Oh, that's going to be a problem for you guys." And they're like, "No, actually, if you were a woman, you would understand that we could just let go of the meta-crisis energy." It's like, what are you talking about? She's like, "Oh, your male male preference or whatever." She says something like that, just, like, ripping on him for just being a dude now instead of being a woman. It's just a weird, like, jab to make. It just kind of like shitty to just insult somebody for just being a dude. I don't know. It's fucked up, but it's not the best joke in the world. I don't know. I'm not somebody that's gonna get really, like, up in a tizzy about, like, all of this political, social stuff, social issue stuff. I don't really care that much. I feel like some people care a lot, but when it's like this, I think it's worth complaining about, just because it's so dumb and, like, lame and poorly, like, conceived. So I will complain about it in this context. There's a lot of stuff in this that was just a little wonky. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm dragging on the video for too long. All right, goodbye.